Hi, welcome to the show. So let me start this episode with an interesting email which I got from a viewer called Sekhar Pariga. Hope you can see here. I just got this mail a couple of hours back, and he mentioned, hope you can see there, he mentioned, I learned many things from your channel. Thanks a lot for awesome videos, kernel networking concept and so and so. It looks like he did an interesting code. You can see there, I created a simple directory listing multi-thread servers using Linux C API functions. Okay. It took me around a month to understand, and so and so on a TCP buffers and client server synchronization and stuff. And then he shared my GitHub link of his code, and as a courtesy he have also included his code in this zip file. So this is the code. I thought I have a look, and sometime tomorrow or something, and then I thought, but again I was intrigued. I thought, let me explore how he have done and actually what is this all about. I just thought it is just randomly written code. Okay, so you can see there, I just mentioned excellent. I see, I have a look, and then I got some free time. I explored, and then I found it very interesting, and which is when I thought I can cover a small episode on this code. I can do a code walk. So I mentioned, I quickly gone through your code, not yet fully certainly. I loved your code, looks professional, trust me. And then I mentioned, actually I'm thinking a couple of days later, I'm thinking perhaps I can shoot an episode and so I just mentioned. And then again I changed my mind. I thought, let me do an episode anyway. I slept sometime in the afternoon. I still feel fresh. And moreover, if I give some time and then suddenly if I take this video after a couple of days, I may forget what I have gone through. Okay, so which is why I thought, let me just finish this and wrap it up, so that I can do my work of what I saw in his code. Okay. So doing a code walk, not strictly a review and so, because generally I do consider, like I say, my videos, I do consider, even if I write code also, it's a work of art. I don't like much reviewing other stuff. Let it be whatever the way they have written. I don't want to much opinionate with my own stuff. So I just want to see, and I want to kind of do a code walk, and then I can explore parts of his code. Some extent I have gone through, like I mentioned, but in this video also I can do live, and then we can see it in action. But the main thing is, I don't want to review others' work. Like I mentioned in my own videos or my own code, I do consider it as it's a work of art, and I don't much like others having some opinion about it. But since this is a well written code, I just want to take this as a sample, because many youngsters who know or learn C programming, so-called they learn C programming, they write a kind of utter useless shit by putting variable names as temp123 or x1 x2 x3, stuff like that. And sometimes they don't do even indentation and stuff. And then other than Linux kernel or something, I felt we can take some random code written by a person like this, and then we can get some good coding standards. Okay, so that's the main intent of this video. So other than exploring the network aspect, I just want to take this as an example. If you are a beginner, trust me, just take this as an example and learn some of the coding standards. It's not about you write some code which works. It's not also about some C concepts or some pointers and garbage like that. It's not that. You have to know how to write a code or a program which does something, a meaningful stuff. So let's get into that. I also mentioned about shooting this video, and then I told that if you don't mind, I can do that, and I was awaiting a permission from him. For that he said it is okay for him, and he's even happy about it, and he said you can share whatever it is. So I said so and so, and I told about a couple of more things, and then I also mentioned, if you don't mind, you can share a photo or something which I can add in case if I get it by the time I edit this video, perhaps I can attach. And in case if I get his LinkedIn link, I may shortly add it in the video description, provided he is okay with that. So again, we need to respect others, privacy. What he is okay is about sharing the code, about sharing his GitHub, link and stuff. Well, we can go there in the GitHub. You can see there, this is his project link. Let me see if we had put any other projects. Yeah, anyway, you can see his photo anyway in GitHub. Okay, so he's the viewer. It looks like he's from Pune. Interesting. So other than this, I need to explore if he had done any other, interesting programs like this. Okay, so we go back to this stuff, and you can see there, this is the project, and you can see he had attached a small readme. As he mentioned, it is a small directory listing server, and that accepts multiple connections and stuff. So it is implemented using multi-threaded pthread library to serve. Let me increase this font size. Yep, you can see there multiple clients simultaneous. Server keeps accepting client session details and so and so. Client session queue contains a client socket file descriptor, present working directory as a queue node and stuff like that. Okay, and you can see there he mentioned a few commands it supports. What it actually does is you can write, you can run the server, and it will accept incoming connections, and in the client you can type some commands like ls and pwd and stuff, and then server pulls these things from the hard drive and it sends via a TCP connection. So this is what, but the interesting thing is it handles that with multiple threads, and also it handles with some type of queue, and it is also synchronized, and that's where the fun is. Okay, so you can see there he mentioned what APIs do this work, which is a good way of writing documentation. Trust me, many people do write readme, but unfortunately what they do is they just write some garbage. Okay, so you can see there nicely mentioned ls what it does, and so cd what it does, pwd, and to quit you can type bye, and it will close that session. Okay, and he also mentioned about certain data structures he is using and stuff like that. See, these are all going to make sense if you parallelly do a code walk and then once again come back and read his readme, which is what I did. Okay, I was actually doing only code walk, and then I had some confusion, and then again I went to the readme section. In fact, I was confused about the whole stuff does what. Okay, so I went back again readme, and then I had a look, and then he neatly documented this enqueue dequeue. I have gone through the APIs again, and then good that he mentioned again in the readme. And you can see there multi-threading, it does this, and you can see he also mentioned about a demo operation of that code, and he mentioned about limitations and stuff. Okay, I do not have file, but yeah, when it shows the ls, maybe it may not show certain attributes and stuff. So it's an interesting project. So what we can do is we can download this directly from GitHub, and I can save in my YouTube project. Backups, TLC, yes. So you can see there, I just download it over here, and what we can do is we can extract it, and this is the code. Okay, so I can open this in my IDE, and parallelly we can also have a look. TLC, yes, so this is the code, and you can see the same readme you can read anyway here, and you have the server and client, and there is this common stuff. So what I can do is I can do a code walk, and also we try to dissect his coding style, because this is what is the main intention for me, because if anybody is a beginner, you have to learn about a few things. I do get a lot of viewers who are still in the college, or out of college, or looking for off campus new jobs, and or maybe in a job looking for a new job. They are working in a startup, looking for a different job which pays them more, or settle in a proper company. And so I do have a huge viewer base. So you need to take some inspiration, and you need to change your way of approaching stuff. And that's the main intent of this video, rather than doing some quick demo of this TCP overall stuff. What we do is we can explore here, or we can explore in the GitHub itself. Since I have done in the GitHub, I can show you some few fragments. We can do a very quick code walk in some places, but some places we can stop and explore further. Okay, see, open this client and server, and you can see there you have this server.c, and it starts with a big include of common.h. See, whenever if anyone does this style of coding, you should understand there is a like the name says, even this something I do in my code as well. Okay, I do have files like common, and sometimes I do have file names like core.h and core.c and stuff. So I do like this type of style of writing code. So he put all sorts of weird complex stuff in a common file, which is a nice way to start a code. Okay, not to put all your garbage in the file which has this main API. Okay, this is something which any beginner should learn. Okay, see this, all the crap is pushed over here and it is abstracted. See, the moment you open this common.h, what I meant crap is, the moment you open this common.h, you will find like this hundreds of or tens or something, all this .h files which are included. If it is a kernel module or something, you may have even more. Okay, so which is why it's a good approach. You can see there it is all having this, and common hash defines, and then we have this data structure, and then we have all this how to say, these are like helper APIs. Okay, so which is again common, meant for both client and server. So he pushed all these things in in this common.h. And you can see there common.c contains the implementation of each of that API. Okay, you can see there cd fun. Initially I thought it is fun means fun. Okay, and then from this documentation I understood that fun means he mentions it is a function name. Okay, so then I got an idea. Okay, it's a function name. So whichever does this ls operation, he have a function or API for that. So that is the cd fun, and pw fun, the function which is responsible to take care of the pwd operation, okay, of command. Same way ls you do, and there is a function or API registered for that. So again I'm saying, if you're a beginner, you read some code, don't immediately start with understanding each and every line. That's not a way you should do a code work. Okay, you should see overall what can be the high level design, and this is some insight. Again I'm saying, if you are a seasoned programmer, trust me, what you teach the garbage in the college is not true. We don't start with any flowcharts, we don't start with any pseudocodes when we write any even a large project sometimes. Okay, I have written for my clients, I don't do any shitty project flowcharts or something. Sometimes I do hand write them, sometimes I take a photo in my smartphone and then send it to my client. I have done many times like that. Okay, so of course you do sometimes in a service based company, because they need to do a little bit of show off that they are working, and the client, they need to show and then get the billing and stuff. So they do certain things in the name of procedure and quality and stuff. They do count how many lines you wrote and what is the efficiency, all sorts of bullshit. But this happens mostly in services companies, and if you're a product company, no one cares. Anybody cares is how you designed your architecture and how it works. Okay, so generally we do have this HLDs, LLDs, which means high level design, low level design, and we do this SRS or read this requirements or documentation and stuff. So all those things are fine, but trust me, it's not that always we start a code with a flowchart and then the flowchart you convert it to a code. Okay, it is utter garbage. Okay, so you have read in books, but that doesn't happen. All this waterfall model, all this bullshit, actually it doesn't happen in the industry all the time. Okay, it happens with some conditions apply. Okay, so come back. What you do is, if you want to learn the the architecture of that, just first focus on the APIs. Okay, so which is why I'm saying the main intent of this episode is not to teach you TCP, not to teach you about threads and all this stuff I have covered in the past some videos. This the intent of this episode itself is to do a code walk. Okay, so you can come here. So that is what is this comment.h. The moment you see, which means you should understand something you have abstracted in that comment.h. Then you have this global variable of this stuff. You have this pthread mutex, and you have this lock. Below that you have the regular stuff. You have this thread. He put thread with array of threads, so which means he is going to initiate many threads. Thread pool, you can go to this comment.h. Somewhere you should have that hash define. You can see 2 threads he is using, and of course we can increase that count if you want. Okay, so it's just, since it's a simple array. Okay, and then you have the socket stuff, main present working directory, something he is creating some sort of a buffer or something, as you can see here. And after that, if you come down, you have this main socket part. All this stuff is there, and then he's resetting that main PWD, and it's a nice code. Okay, and then he is getting this get current working directory. Okay, so when you type in commands pwd, that is actually the API in C code is this get cwd. Okay, so you can see there is just getting whatever that string, and then he is storing here. Okay, so that's what he is doing. And of course, since he does sometimes this is optional, but it is needed because he is setting this starting byte is setting as 0. If you come here, I can type a bit, so you can do this, or sometimes I do like this, which is not a good way, but I sometimes do that. Okay, main pwd of 0 something equal to single quotes \0, something like this also I do. Okay, because than using an API, this kind of optimizes. Okay, sometimes I do any kernel code or something, I do like this, especially for networking code I do this. Okay, so this, you are converting an API into a simple single assignment statement. See this? So unfortunately you need to dereference. So if you think about more optimized code, even here, because of the dereferencing, there will be some cost is involved. But we are avoiding, the main intent is we are avoiding, usage of any type of API like this. Okay, you can see there. Okay, so anyway, let's just go fast. Okay, after that you can see there is initializing all the signal handlers. So whenever you do any control C, control X, something like that, you need some signal handler, because especially since it has threads, it is good to do that. So when it is exiting, you can do all that cleanup stuff. Okay, when you do cancel that, you can do all that cleanup. So perhaps that's what he is going to do inside. So you can again see there is one API for the signal handler. Okay, so you can see there. So your common sense should tell this API should be in the common.h, and the implementation should be in common.c. So somewhere you should be able to find. Yes, you can see there is just doing a print and then is going out. It's a fantastic code. Okay, so you can see that this is a nice way of writing stuff. And then he's doing this mutex init and all that. So he's initializing this lock handler or context variable. And then you can see there the socket stuff is there. He's using sock stream, which means he's using some TCP stuff. And then he's setting all this stuff. Socket options and bind, all the regular stuff. And then is here is the main thing starts, is registering this thread, and you can see there is passing this thread handle, and this is a callback API or callback function, and then you have this thread instance. So he's passing that pointer, this thing, because he's using an array. If it is not an array, you can directly pass that pointer of that thread variable. So since he is using that as an array, he is doing the dereferencing in the bracket. Again, this is what you are supposed to learn. Okay, so neatly he put that crap in a bracket, so it neatly dereferences, so you get that, and then the pointer of that is the ampersand. Okay, so that's how you write a fantastic code. Okay, so you can see there is put a bracket and then is put an ampersand. content. So you can see there, since this is a direct API, you don't need to dereference with that brackets. So again, your common sense should tell the thread handler API should be inside the common.c and common.h. Okay, so you can see there, if you scroll somewhere, you should able to find the thread handle. Yeah, you can see there the thread handle is over here. Okay, so that's what is that API. After that, it is a bit straightforward stuff. You can see there is an infinite loop. So you should understand, if this is for a beginner, you will often find an infinite loop in most of the professional code, because anytime you use something as a service, of course you need to run forever, which is the main intent of having a infinite loops like this. Okay, so you can see there while of true, and then it starts. Okay, you can see there it accepts, and then it accepts for connections, and then you can see there you have this malloc and p-client of that socket file descriptor and something like that. What is he doing here? Malloc of int and each socket file descriptor, he is just want to pass this socket file descriptor in this enqueue API. So hopefully this enqueue API, which is like a, again, it's a professional term to adding a node to a linked list. Okay, so if you are done some college time any linked list code, hopefully you may use terms like add node, delete node and stuff like that, but professionally you should use the words like enqueue, dequeue. Okay, that's how, even if you explore the kernel code, you will find such terms, which means you are adding to the queue. Okay, it doesn't mean even linked list, it can be any sort of data structure, multi-dimensional data structure. You can also use such APIs to access arrays also. So it's a nice way to call that you are adding to the queue. Strictly doesn't mean queue is FIFO or LIFO or all that. It can be anything. You can write a stack and then you can still use such words actually. Okay, which means is putting an item to that data structure, multi-dimensional data structure. So is adding to the queue.